Rebecca, hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
all right, how are you?
Good, guys. We are live here. This is
Hey,
the Crunch.
it's Tuesday. It must be
It must be the Crunch.
little bit late today because we were
E-
doing a live watch party today
exactly. And you
from
were actually on
TC.
site. Yes,
That's
TC
right.
25. Yes,
That
yes,
is right.
indeed.
That is right. After a very interesting day in San Diego yesterday with the earthquake, which was a little fun.
Yes. You
A
felt
bit
that.
of
That's right.
it was like being on a boat in rough waters for about 20 seconds. So that was interesting.
A little topsy turvy,
A little tough, a little wobbly, a little wobbly, but we survived. Yeah. And now we're here at TC. So a lot of folks here this morning excited to hear about what's going on with Tableau and Tableau Next.
Indeed.
And I know, Dave, you were talking about sort of it'd be interesting to see what they message around Data Cloud.
Yeah, exactly. And so, what's the synergy, with Tableau and Data Cloud? Like you were saying before, like they've been sort of not as, or they're getting back to more Tableau focused branding and messaging. So, be interesting to see what the synergy is now with Data Cloud, because they're also now pushing heavily, agentic analytics. So, I want to dissect what they actually mean by agentic and how this differs, from the Gen AI features we've seen added to different BI tools over the last year or so. So, interesting things to watch out for.
Yeah, and I think too it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they're making some agentic announcements, but helping customers understand what is agentic and what isn't, and really sort of where this fits within the broader Salesforce story,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Where does agentic begin and Tableau end?
Hmm.
Two, it'll be interesting to see how they're messaging to sort of the business analyst, which is Tableau's bread and butter,
Right.
around these capabilities that could take some of their workload away.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
And because they're
helping,
also trying to aim at like making an analysis easier for the everyday user. Yeah. So we'll see how they balance that. That's a good point.
yeah. But of course, we wouldn't be on PPN without one of the founding fathers of PPN here with us. So
I mean, yes,
we can ask
indeed.
him to join us.
With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Brent Leary.
Why do I feel like George Washington all of a sudden? Man. But this
Hey,
is
happy
exciting. This is
Brent.
exciting to be with you guys on the first Crunch Watch Party.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. So I wonder how much influence will a Salesforce is event have on the Tableau conference here. Would it be a similar vibe? You think?
Well, if you look at the pre-game show, as I like to call it, looks like they've definitely got some Salesforce razzmatazz as a part of this
Indeed.
now.
Yeah. Very high production.
Want
I
to
will.
take a
I will
sneak
tell you
peek?
though, there are no big stuffed animals here.
You want to take a sneak peek at the pre-game that's going on right now?
Sure.
Let's check it out.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Absolutely thrilled to have you. You picked the right group of people to join in on these.
This looks like a
festivities.
TV show.
But I think
It is a
let
TV
us earn
show.
your
I mean,
trust
they have
by
camera
showing you that
angles.
the product can really solve problems.
Yeah, this is well
Get
produced here.
hands-on. Experience
And
it
we got the
yourself. There's
countdown, the
something so
keynote in
powerful
there.
about
So we're
testing it,
getting ready to hit the
dragging and
5-minute
dropping,
mark
asking
here.
questions of the agent,
Absolutely.
and seeing it
This is
work
my first
live that really can kind of convince
Tableau
you, hey, this is going to revolutionize my
conference.
business.
Like
So
I've
if you're
never really
curious,
been
let
there,
us win your trust.
and I've
Yeah.
never done a
Show you
watch party.
what
So
Tableau
I'm
is all
just
about, and I think
this
you're
is like
really gonna get blown
the
away.
first
Yeah,
go around.
absolutely.
I'm
And
kind
I'd
of
like to
curious
say
to see
welcome
what they're
to our
going to do and
digital
how
audience
how it
joining
does
us
compare
for the
to
first
what
time
we're
as well.
usually seeing
We've
at
got some
Dreamforce
great
or
sessions
Right,
today
exactly.
Connections
for
or
people who are
whatever
new to Tableau,
TDX.
maybe
I
are
think I've been to
familiar
all of
with
those, but I haven't
Salesforce,
been to one of these.
but
But this is going to be
haven't
interesting.
fully
Yeah,
incorporated
this is
Tableau
Yeah, this
yet.
is my first
Can
one
we talk
IRL,
about
and
some of
it's
those
been
that we're
very
having
interesting to
tomorrow?
see
There's
the
like a
community
Tableau
here. I mean,
101.
Tableau has
Oh
such
my
a
gosh.
strong
I mean, I think
community.
that audience in particular
Um,
too has a
they
tremendous
opened
opportunity to learn
yesterday.
about how
And
our
there were
focus on
tons
this
of
deeply
people
unified
coming in
platform
already,
is really going to pay dividends
going to
on
some
their
of the
current
pre-game
investment. They are
activities,
using Salesforce.
and
The entire
really
goal
getting
of
involved.
the
So
extensible platform we're building
Yeah.
is to
Any
Unified
idea how
system.
many
that flow
people
of
are
work,
there?
make it actionable, and
I
link
don't.
these disparate crowds or solutions so that it feels like a single,
I'll have to
command
check
center
the
to make
numbers
decisions
they
for your
said
business.
for
So
for
the foundation
numbers.
they have is going to be great.
If I
We
were
can't
to
wait to hear your
guess, I
feedback as
would
well.
I mean, I
say
think when you look at the content, right, we have everything from hands-on training that Bailey is leading.
I'm going to
Get
turn
your
the
Tableau
sound down
desktop
on these
license
guys and
out
just
if you don't have access.
keep an eye on when they actually go live.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Now it's in San Diego, so what is that, like the convention center or something down
Yeah.
there?
It's at the
Okay.
convention center.
San Diego is always a good location for a conference.
Hmm.
Yeah, we were at the Sugar earlier this year.
Oh,
They
right.
did their analyst event, and it was literally right within
Yeah.
walking distance of the Pacific. It was really awesome.
That's all. It's funny, like watching be at these sort of tech conferences. Last week I was at Canva Create in Los Angeles. I mean, like Hollywood, right? And it's it's a different kind of tech conference. You have a bunch of 20-somethings. I felt like 100 years old. They're a bunch of influencers and content creators. I'm just like, I am old, man. It was all these creators running around. It was wild.
I thought did they start nicknaming you Pops or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, OG. I'm like, oh man.
How is, I've never been to them, of course, because I'm way too old now. What kind of vibe was that? How does it compare to like the traditional ones that we go to?
It's I would say more similar to Adobe Max,
That makes sense.
but even younger.
Wow.
Way more influencers, way more like, oh, that's a YouTuber, that's a TikTok influencer. It was a lot of that going on, so I did a lot of I'll put some content in the next week. So I did a lot of impromptu, like live interview, man in the street type of stuff. So it should be fun. Yeah, I have to kind of get young again.
Did you start like breaking out your rap stuff?
Man,
or?
I didn't, man. Because like they listen to different kind of rap now. So I didn't want to.
You don't
date
want
myself.
trap?
Yeah. The trap music.
The youths, you mean?
The youth.
The youths.
Rebecca's cousin Vinny just entered. We got the forward-looking statement. So I think we're about to go. So I'm going to put the sound on.
There we go.
Before every breakthrough, there's a question, a challenge, a moment that demands clarity. Because progress doesn't just happen, it's discovered in the patterns, in the connections, in the data. Every question holds a story waiting to be told, a story that always has a better narrative when it's told through data. And over the years, those stories have been brought to life in an entirely new way. By you, the Data Fam.
The Data Fam?
The Data Fam. They're t-shirts. Yep.
Because data isn't just numbers and charts. It's insight.
No comments.
It's truth.
I
It's
know.
the engine of progress. And now we're at the edge of something.
I wonder what the
new,
prompt was for
something
that.
Revolutionary.
Young,
An
energetic.
era where data and AI work side by side to imagine new possibilities, to see what couldn't be seen, to do what couldn't be done. This isn't about technology alone.
This definitely
It's
feels
about unlocking
like it's been
potential.
Salesforce-arized.
Potential. The
Yeah,
There's no
potential
mapping
to
yeah.
behind
think
it.
clearly and move faster than ever before. The ability to create personalized experiences at scale. The power to lead with confidence in every moment. The power of collective intelligence. To create a world where every story is heard and every person is empowered. Turning information into action and action into impact. This is your moment, your opportunity to make a mark. The future is not a distant point on the horizon, it's something you shape. Right here, right now. So, what will you do with it? What story will you tell? Data doesn't just reveal the world, it helps you change it.
Please welcome President and CEO Tableau, Ryan Ate.
Hello, good morning. How's it going? How are you doing? It's great to see everyone here. Wow.
The walk
Look
and
at this
talk.
Crowd. Over
The
8,000
walk
of
is
us
very
here. Pretty
Salesforce.
amazing.
Yes.
Welcome to Tableau
Going through the
Conference.
aisles. like
I am so
televangelist
excited to
style.
be here today.
He's like
Yeah, but
healing
yeah,
people.
you
I
know
see
there's
lots
got to
of
be a
familiar
circle.
faces.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there we
What a
go.
day.
All the
Good
yes.
call, Brent.
San Diego. Really great day here in San Diego. And I want to just start off by saying thank you. It's really important to me to say thank you to all of you.
That's definitely a
Of course, our
Salesforce hallmark.
customers, our partners,
Absolutely.
our community members.
Man,
I
that
see
place
many
is
of you
packed.
here in the front row. Amazing. All right. Also, very great group of executives and business users here, our employees. I really am grateful for all of you for being here today. We have a pretty amazing show for you, a pretty amazing week. Our goal is to inspire you, to make sure that you have a great, opportunity to learn and
And
reconnect
see
with
if we
people.
know anybody
And
up
this
front.
is ultimately the data, analytics, and AI event of the year. It's pretty exciting. I know I'm excited to be here. I'm honored to be here. It's pretty fun. And if you think about what do we have in store
Isn't that
for you,
Reka?
we have
Yes.
a lot, actually.
Oh,
and a lot of
okay.
this
She's
is
the
built
CMO
based
over
on
there
your
now, right?
feedback. So we do have devs on stage. Is anybody excited about devs on stage? All right. So devs on stage is tomorrow, 10 a.m.
What
That's
is
going to
that,
be really
by the way?
exciting.
I don't know.
I won't give anything away, even though I want to. We have the Iron Viz. I see some of the.
And we're grateful that
flashing
you're
in the
here with us,
background.
Alan.
The Iron Viz is really awesome. If you
Thank
haven't
you,
been to
Alan.
an Iron Viz, I highly recommend you come and check it out.
Data night out.
Additional to
Okay.
that, we have our data night
And
out.
Iron
with
Viz
Bob
is like
Moses.
their
We have a bunch
version of
really great
Adobe
sessions.
Max Sneaks.
And oh, by the way, if you
Oh,
don't
is that
see
what
all
it
the
is?
sessions,
Okay.
or
Yeah,
in
yeah,
other
yeah.
sessions,
I like sneaks.
we're going to try
Yeah,
to
Sneaks is
make as
awesome.
many of those available to you on Salesforce Plus, which I know is important. So we'll do our best with that. We also want to say thank you again to
Again.
our sponsors, a lot of sponsors, a lot of partners, a lot of customers. And I think that's really important for us to make sure we continue to reiterate.
Hey,
Now,
Ian.
I talk about the data fam quite a bit. It's at the center of all of the things that we work
Ian's
on.
got some thoughts there, folks.
I like to say it's at the
Yes.
heart of everything we do. And there's a lot of momentum. The momentum continues. The
I'm
momentum
guessing
now,
that
we have over
agentic
5
everywhere is a good
million
way to sum this
Tableau
up.
public
Yes.
Yeah, I think
profiles.
you're right, Ian.
With
Indeed.
25% year-on-year growth.
I'm very interested to
We
see what
also
they say
have
about
over
the
11.5
marketplace,
million
though.
public
The whole
visualizations.
idea of like being
That's all
able to
thanks to you
monetize
all
your
here.
visualizations.
You've all been doing that.
It's
You've
not
been driving the
necessarily a new
momentum. You've been
concept.
doing the
It's
user
something
groups with
very
almost
Data
50,000
fam.
user
There you
groups.
go.
43% growth year-on-year. It's pretty incredible, right? And why is there all this momentum? Well, it's really because of our amazing data fam.
Oh, I get
And
it.
again, I want to laser
know.
focus a little bit on this because our data fam is what has brought us to this place, has helped the organizations, the critical path, right, to this growing
So
community.
is that the equivalent of Trailblazers or?
The data
Yes.
fam, like, we have, for
Okay,
example,
t-shirt,
a lot of
not
folks
hoodies.
that
I'd
work
rather
today,
hear
not enough
Trailblazer
time.
at this
I
point
don't have
than data.
slides, I might get in trouble. But I do want to say
You
thank
know,
you.
there were a
We have
lot of data
number
fam
new
t-shirts walking
Tableau
around San Diego
Hall of
last night.
Famers.
Data
We have a
fam.
number, of course, of visionaries in the audience.
Are you getting paid to wear
I
that?
want to thank them
I
and
could
maybe
wear
ask
that
them to
one.
stand up if possible. If you're comfortable, feel free to stand up if you're able to. Congratulations. Okay. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, we also have our ambassadors, right? Who here's an ambassador? If you feel comfortable and you
A
want to
data
stand
fam
up, please stand up
ambassador.
as well. All right. If you're an ambassador and you're at home or a visionary, stand up.
Come on, you guys. You can stand up.
Also, we have our our user group leaders, right? These are the people who, I've been to a few user groups. Stand up. You can all stay standing. It's okay.
Do they have the equivalent of a
It
golden
feels
hoodie
good
too?
to stand
Like,
up a little bit, right?
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Uh-oh. Don't go there.
You can sit down now. Thank you. I think it's all really important too to recognize people who are new, right? So people who are here for the first time
Rebecca, raise your
Tableau
hand.
Conference folks that are here today. So let's give them a round of applause as well.
He's really bringing back the pocket square though.
And
Ligma is going.
you may be wondering, well, why am I spending so much time? Again, it is critical that we talk about our growing community because it is the heart and soul of everything we do. We get our feedback, we learn.
Ian is on a roll
And when I
today.
think about that, I also think about how can we take some of the things that Salesforce brings Tableau and Tableau brings to Salesforce. And so we've been working on some new things, and we tried a new thing this year. It started yesterday. We brought together, of course, the power of Agentforce, our digital labor platform, as well as we brought together Tableau. And we said, hey, let's pull, a couple hundred people together and see what happens. And I thought, I wasn't exactly sure. We wanted to bring it together, and you're the builders. We wanted you to tell us and show us what's possible. And, this is a little bit scary, but we'll call it out. Yesterday, there was an earthquake, okay? That's not something that I'm very excited about, but it is something we need to be aware of. And doing that,
would you
what I
like
also
to be in the
found was that
auditorium when an
this great
earthquake is going
hackathon,
on? Or
there were a few
Exactly.
folks that pulled together Tableau, an agent force, and
thousands of
a
your
natural
closest
language
friends,
query,
right?
and they were able to essentially pull together sort of we'll call it an earthquake crisis response scenario. It's very powerful. This is the type of thing that we need in our world to help us, right? When you bring together agentic technology and, of course, the power of Tableau. And so I believe we have Roberto, Rob, and also Suraj in the audience. Maybe you're nearby. Would you, let's give them a round of applause for doing such a great job. You can stand up.
all right, so I gotta ask,
Thank
what
you.
does agentic have to do with
Great
their
job. By the way,
earthquake crisis response?
You're both new to Tableau.
Well, I'm sure it was an
Okay,
agent
awesome. And
that
you're
was
10
telling
years.
you earthquake-related
Fantastic.
things.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, I see.
I would have loved to have
So we
seen
talk
a little
about
bit more
here
on
at
that.
Salesforce,
than-
our values quite a bit.
how
And
that
our
came
values
about.
with Salesforce
I see a
and
demo.
Tableau, we've been very consistent to these values over the last 26 years. And it's really critical to us that we, no matter what type of environment we're in, if we're, some things, the economy, things change, these are consistent to us, always. Trust, customer success, innovation, we're going to talk a lot about that here, equality and sustainability. Okay, these are very important. And what have these allowed us to do? These have allowed us to do well, right, with over 40 billion in revenue guidance for FY26, but also do good at the same time. I know there are a lot of people in this room that do good, and I'm very appreciative of that.
The do-gooders.
That is really our mission. When you think about Salesforce and Tableau, we truly believe that business can be a platform for change, for impact. And that is what we've been doing for roughly 25, 26 years with our 1-1-1 model, where we put in 1% of our equity, our time, and of course our product. And that has been a really great thing, and also part of the reason that I'm here at this company. So that's a little bit of where we are, okay? But what we're all really here for is to talk about data, analytics, and AI. So what I wanted to do is go back in time, not too far, but far enough to like 2003, the very beginning of Tableau. And that, reminded me of the first version of Tableau, which was Tableau.
Wow, look at
1.0.
that computer.
Remember that?
Early versions.
That's OG Tableau.
Okay, who here used Tableau 1.0?
That looks
or
like a
2.0
IBM
or
PC
early versions?
1.
Raise your hands in the audience. Maybe they're shy. This is pretty, regardless. Maybe you started in 2003 or 2009 or 2020, or maybe you started yesterday, like some of our friends are at the hackathon. The point is, you started and you created a movement. And when I ask people what happens when you connect data and you connect visualization with Tableau, and I get this pretty consistent answer of a lot of joy. There's an excitement. And the power of being able to help people see and understand data is very, very interesting, because there's a lot of people that get excited about it. And you've all made that very special for Tableau and very special for your customers and your organizations and your nonprofits and wherever it is that you spend a lot of time. You've told a story with data, also evident on Tableau Public. And that's great. But we are clearly in a world of significant change. The AI era, the agent era, pick your term. We're in a world of change. No surprise. Everyone's seen self-driving cars, I'm sure. Everyone's seen robotics, robots on the way, ChatGPT and different tools and LLMs and various educational institutions. I saw something just this morning. We see the next version of an LLM now saying it can do SQL queries at 93% accuracy. That's pretty interesting. So it's exciting,
Not really
also
surprising. You know it's
potentially
going to go there.
scary.
Exactly.
Okay, he's
And
going
now
there.
Depends
that-
on what your perspective is. And so what
It's
I
getting cheaper.
hear from a lot of people is that there are certain feelings of uncertainty. Can I trust AI? Is it safe? How can I prepare for this? Will it affect my work? What's the future of Tableau? I get that question too. Are they going to abandon Tableau in the new AI era, agentic era? Literally, I hear this question. Well, there's also another question, and I think this is core to everything we've spoken about so far, which is, what does this mean for you? For you and for everyone here, which is ultimately, what does all of this technology, all of this AI and agentic capability mean for you? Well, it's a good question, and it's a question I get a lot. And when I think about that, it is, okay, let's examine the world of the analyst and the data professional or the site administrator or whatever else you would kind of call yourself. And I think there's many jobs that you do. You have a lot of complex jobs. Your job's hard, yes, but it's also, I think, rewarding from what I hear. You're creating dashboards, you're doing pet projects for your executive, which maybe I asked for my amazing team. You're doing dashboard layouts, table calcs, LODs. Some of these things you love, some of these things you don't love. And I'm not going to say which ones because I hear different answers. But the point is, you have a complicated role. And that role is critical
Good point, Alan.
to organizations.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you were located. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And so in the
there's
new
Leah
world,
McGowan here.
in the new
Oh, her.
AI and agentic era, all of that's going to accelerate. Okay? Data connections are
There's
going
a
to be
data
faster.
fam hoodie.
You can get data, you know,
Yeah, I don't think I'll be
quickly,
supporting that one.
much quicker.
Although they
It will
did send me
happen in a
the
way that you haven't been able to
Agentic
do.
Force one
Everything gets accelerated.
yesterday. I just got it yesterday.
Oh,
So
really?
again, the question
Yeah.
of uncertainty. What's going to happen? Can I trust this? Is this going to work? What does it mean for me? Well, what I will tell you is your job is transforming. Your job is transforming. And now is a really great time to get excited about it because your job's not going away. Your job is transforming. And we are in a world now where, of course, your role as an analyst, a data pro,
Is that a totally
site
true
administrator
statement?
is
Some
gonna
people's
change.
jobs are going away.
Yeah,
Others
I-
are changing.
You're a
But
superhero
some
in
people
the
are
new
going
world.
away.
You're a
The positive
decision
spin is,
architect
while
in
certain
addition
jobs
to
go
an
away,
analyst.
you'll still be there
You're a
doing
trust
new
enabler.
things.
Yeah.
An outcomes whisperer. Pick your term. You could ask ChatGPT what other terms they'd like. The point is, you are in a transformational moment. And that moment's starting right now, of course. But it's not just you. Your company or your organization or your nonprofit or your educational institution, they're also needing to transform too. They need to transform from being data rich and insights poor because they're sitting on all this information. You know that. But they need to move to the future, which is, I want to be data driven if I run Tableau. I want to be data driven. Ask any other executive, I want to be data driven. How do I do that in an agentic era? It's a big question. So let's reflect for a second.
You know,
What
it's
is
pretty
our
amazing
job at
how
Tableau?
quiet it is when he's
Well,
not
in
saying anything.
2003,
Like nothing going on up there.
and also at Salesforce, we helped to define the traditional BI environment, the self-service analytics environment. And so our job was to help define that and help empower you. Well, our job now is to help empower you for the next era we call the agentic analytics era. Okay, and that's very important.
So he has to
But
define
again,
what
I'm
that means.
sensing perhaps this feeling of uncertainty coming back.
Yeah.
What about Tableau? The current Tableau.
You know what?
the
This is
Tableau I
really
love.
picky of me.
Well,
I think I
love it
would have
too.
worded it
Okay.
the agentic
The
era.
Tableau we all know, and when the Tableau
How does
we all
analytics
love.
fit into the
Maybe you're a
agentic era?
desktop user.
I don't think it's an agentic
Sure, we've
analytic.
got lots of
analytic
server
era.
users here.
Yeah, right.
Lots
Because how
of
does it
cloud
differ from
users
like
here as
Gen
well.
AI features and that we've seen in other BI
Maybe
tools?
you're using data prep.
Yeah, it's just analytics
Maybe you're using
during the
something else
agentic
that I don't
era.
have on the
really.
slide.
Yeah.
The point is, the current Tableau
That's being way
It's
too
not
picky.
going anywhere.
Sorry about
Let me
that.
say it again. Current Tableau
He needed
is
to
not
get
going anywhere. I get
agentic
this question a lot.
and analytics on the same slide.
But we also
Indeed.
need to transform. I just said
I'm done.
we're all transforming as people in the agentic era. Organizations are
Now
transforming,
back to the agenda.
but we also need to transform our portfolio of products. We need to get to that next level. We need to get to that next chapter.
Alan is like
really
dropping
is
bombs
where we
over
are.
here.
Yeah, he's going.
And
Yeah.
of course,
We should call him
we
up.
need to have a new product
Bring the lefty.
to add to our portfolio.
He's like the
The name of that
designated
product
hitter. over
is
here.
Yeah.
Tableau Next. And I couldn't be honestly more excited to bring you the future of what
No, you're
agentic
swimming late.
analytics looks like.
He's on a
Because
roll.
In siloed, they still
Tableau
work.
Next is the addition to get us
Yeah.
to that next
Sometimes
chapter.
I
And
think
this
that
is where I want you all to come on the journey
People
with
are
us.
looking at agentic to
Now,
fix
you may be
everything,
wondering, what
but
is
if you still have the
agentic
same bad
analytics?
data
It's
habits,
not clear.
agentic doesn't do anything
That's our
for you.
job.
Exactly.
Our job is
Exactly.
to empower you. Our
Except
job is to
expose
inform you. Our
whatever you
job is to
have.
inspire
Yeah.
you and take
To
you on
much
a
more
journey.
people and
So,
makes your mistakes much
Tableau
worse.
Next, at a very high level,
Ian's just AI is
It's
an
all about
enthusiastic
data,
intern.
okay? There's a few data
I
shares
like
here,
that.
I know.
Yeah, Ian and Alan are going
Well,
mano
we
y
talked
mano
about
in the
the
comments
open
section.
data
Yeah,
layer. They're on a roll
good
here.
stuff.
The most open data layer, okay? Doesn't matter. Are you an analyst or a decision architect?
Did we lose? We lost the stream.
Did we lose
We
Brent?
lost the stream. I think we lost the. But so far, he's kind of going to where I think he was going to go in terms of the agentic analytics. So we're going to interesting to see
Yeah,
how much
I think he
that
still
ties
needs.
into data cloud. Yeah.
I think he still needs to tie a bow on the question around what this means for the Tableau sort of business analyst profile too, right?
Right, yeah.
He said this is going to accelerate your job, but I think helping those analysts understand how they can articulate their role as sort of the data Sherpa
Right.
to the rest of their organization is going to be really important.
Understand
Exactly.
and provide accurate insights.
Sorry about the
to
technical glitch
My
there.
analyst population, my decision architects, my agents, maybe that's an agent force, my organization at large, my CEO, my CXO, it does not matter. And of course, what else? What's core to Tableau is our visualization capability. We love this part of it. We also have a lot of feedback from you. We need to do certain things, modernize it, make it this, make it that. And that's what we've done. We've started to do that. We're bringing it out to you. It's now reusable. You can share it in a marketplace, internally and externally. We're going to show you that. It's also about bringing the future of modern look and feel, right? We all know Tableau's been around for 22 years. We're bringing it to the future. And then one of my favorite parts is ultimately our integrated action layer.
Ooh.
Integrated action layer. It's hard to say fast. But what it really means is I want to get insights wherever
That
I
sounds
am.
like a Marvel
If I'm on the
story.
plane, I want them on my
Yeah,
phone. If I'm in a computer, I want them in Tableau. Maybe I want them in Slack. Wherever I am, wherever I work, maybe it's an agent
easier
force.
for the everyday
Maybe it's
user.
in some other
They're using a
tool
lot of
like
concepts
Workday,
like
doesn't matter, or Box.
semantic layers.
I want to
and,
get
and
my
so forth, and
insights
that could add some
where I
complexity.
work.
So
And that is what this
brings some
integrated
balance.
action layer is. And so this is what I'll call a summary of Tableau Next. And we're going to show you, of course, a lot about this today. But I'm going to go back for a second because this question of, well, what about Tableau today? Well, let me tell you one more time, we're not abandoning Tableau. We are putting this together in one unified portfolio, okay? Desktop, server, cloud.
You know what might
prep,
actually help
and
is also
Next.
seeing,
It's an
since he says
additional
that people,
part of our
he's getting a lot of
portfolio.
questions around,
It
is
is
Tableau going away?
interoperable.
You should
Yeah.
probably
By the way, that's not
kind of
easy
frame how
to
Tableau
make things
fits into
work.
the overall
But
Salesforce.
we
Yeah,
are committed
yeah,
to it
he's-
because you
keeps
are committed
reiterating,
to us.
we're not abandoning
And we are
Tableau.
on this journey together.
Which makes me think they're
So
abandoning
let me
Tableau.
just double down on my commitment. Because I am committed, and we are committed at Salesforce and at Tableau to your growth. We are heavily committed to this. And you may not believe
almost
us
a
all the
little too
time
much,
because you know, we interact,
Yeah.
and this is part of being in a partnership. But we are doing things, and we're going to show you some things. For example, we will be investing in Tableau Public. We will be investing in our community. We will be investing in server. We're going to show you some of this today. We're also going to be investing in how we price and package Tableau. which is kind of a new thing for us.
There you go, Ian.
How do we make it easier for you to get access to our products? How do we make it flexible? Okay? These are the things that we're focused on. So I've covered a lot, and you're probably ready for the next chapter, but I want to just emphasize one last thing. We talked about uncertainty. We talked about the opportunity to transform. We talked about all the change that's happening. I am a true believer of the fact that there are not jobs going away. In fact, jobs are being transformed. And the time is now for you, and the moment is here, right? The products are here, we are here, you are here, and this is our opportunity
an
to do
80s
this
song?
together. So I appreciate your attention on this. What I want to do now is move to the next chapter. I'm going to keep saying next.
There was a lot of monotony in that one so far.
But we're going to move
'cause
into
I'm trying to
repetitiveness.
a little bit of a few
I'm
demos,
trying to figure out,
and we're going to start off
you
with
know,
my great
how
friend and
much
colleague,
then,
Cedric
how
Jones,
crucial
Chief
is
Product
being within the
Officer.
Salesforce
Please welcome
ecosystem
him.
to fully leverage Tableau Next.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. And hello, DC. Woo! It is, woo!
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
we need-
It is really great to be here,
He
right
needs
here in
help.
San Diego. I love this town. Last year
Souther,
at this
never heard of
time,
Souther Jones.
I stood here in front of you,
Yeah.
and we shared our vision for the future of Tableau. And we asked for your feedback.
Ian is worried about that pricing.
And you gave us lots of feedback, lots of it. In fact, over the past year, we've had over 100 product review sessions. From hands-on product training to user experience reviews, to focus groups. Together, this community, everybody in this room, and the 1,200 developers that work at Salesforce and Tableau have built the future of Tableau. Ryan just introduced it, Tableau Next. At one point had some other name, but don't worry, Tableau Next is here to stay as a name, I think. I think.
He sounds really confident about that.
Yeah.
And he was waiting for
The fun
applause,
part,
too.
at least for me, the real fun part now is I get to
Real
show
and
you
sure.
the product, the real product. Well, I'm actually not going to show it to you. I want to take this moment to introduce John Denby. Woo!
The suit's a hoodie transition.
I like, yeah.
Pocket square to hoodie.
Ooh, I like
exactly.
that.
This demo here today.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the demo. We,
Wonder if he got that at
we created this
Zoholics. No, I'm
fictitious
just
company called
That's a
Data
serious hat.
Kicks. And we just launched this new shoe. It's called the Diego.
Hey, not bad,
The
actually.
Diego.
Very cool shoe. We need to launch a marketing campaign so we can hit some really audacious sales targets. So this demo has 2 chapters. The first chapter is an analyst, and you're going to see the analyst use Tableau Next to accelerate their workflow, help them do data modeling, creating calculations, but at the end, help a business leader make a better business decision. And then chapter 2, we're going to have a business leader come up and have a conversation with their data. They have a conversation
All right,
with their
now
data
this
so
could
they
be
can deliver a
interesting.
better business outcome.
Yeah.
All right, so enough little intro. Let's get into the demo. I get to take the role of an analyst. My favorite job. Woo! So let's jump in. As an analyst, I get a Slack. I get a Slack from Reka, my CMO. And in that Slack, you see this completely interactive visual. So it's not a JPEG. I can click on it. I can drag or drop. I can visualize it. Do whatever I want. But Reka asked me, hey, Souther, we just launched the Diego shoe. Can you do some analysis, look at some other campaigns that we have, and tell me what we could do to hit our 35,000, that's a lot of shoes, 35,000 shoes I want to sell in the first quarter. So yes, I'm all over it. Give me a few minutes. I can do that in a few minutes. All right, so where do I start? I start in the Tableau Next workspace. What's the workspace? The workspace is one place, as in all of my analytical assets are here. I get a complete lineage, everything from my dashboards, my visualizations, to my semantic models, to the actual tables, to the data connections themselves. We call it a workspace as an analyst. It's like my dream space. One place, everything. I get it all. And here I go. So what I need to do now for this, right now for this project, I need to connect to 2 more data sources. I need to get data from Databricks. I need to get digital media spend data from Databricks. That's structured data. I also need to get unstructured data, social media reviews from bots. All right, so let's jump in. Let's go to Databricks, and then I'm going to get that data. I'm actually going into Databricks. I'm not sucking the data out. What I'm doing is I'm looking at Databricks. I'm actually accessing the objects. down to the individual tables. And there's this table thing called conversions. And now I'm actually seeing the data in Databricks. I didn't move it. I didn't create extracts. I'm looking into Databricks and I see the actual data. Now what I want to do now is I want to model it. So I'm going to create a semantic model. All right, so I create that semantic model. I take the metadata, not the data, the metadata into my semantic model. So now you can see here in my semantic model, I have an existing semantic model. This is our semantic modeling experience, and I've added that digital media content to it. Again, the data itself is still in Databricks. And now I'm going to model it, and I want to create a new calculation. All right. Anyone here know what a CPA is? No, not a certified public accountant. CPA. It stands for cost per acquisition. In the marketing world, that's the way we figure out how much it costs us to acquire a new customer. I don't know how to create that calculation. I think there's something called a level of detail or something. Well, enter Data Pro. Data Pro is an agent where I can just type in a question, create a calc for CPA by channel. It figures out the level of detail. That's nice. I like that. It writes the right syntax. Awesome. Does one more really important thing. It adds context to all of that. And you say, why is that important? In 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you why it's really important that we can automatically add context to our calculations. All right, so I just did a calculation on structured data. That's pretty cool. But now I want to analyze unstructured data. How do I analyze unstructured data? I don't know. I hear there's something called a vector database. I have to learn how to do parsing. I might have to do some other stuff. Again, I'm not sure how to do all that. So I just want to know one simple thing. Tell me the number of positive mentions for the Diego shoe in my social media reviews. Simple question. I will type that into my Data Pro calc, and it's
Of course, that means
the formula
somewhere there's a definition for what's positive.
Right.
Now that's nice. It also creates all that business context for me as well. Pretty cool. I like it. Let's hear it. Data Pro is like my new best friend. Well, all right. Now I have a semantic model. I brought AI to the world of modeling. That semantic model gives me one place where I can have all that together. Created this logical business meaning off of that raw data. What's next? I need to communicate to my business executives the question they asked originally, which campaigns can perform the best? All right, so let's create a viz. Do I start from scratch? Nope. I have something called the marketplace. And in the marketplace, which is a gallery of all of your best practices that I can choose from, it has all the different things I can do. I'm trying to do campaign performance, so I'll select the one that says performance overview. It gives me a nice view of that, and I'm gonna say, great, what do I get? I get a blank canvas. Do I start from a blank canvas? And I can put some stuff in there? No, it suggests metrics for me. How does it do that? It knows I'm working on a marketing semantic model. It knows I've chosen the performance overview. It has information. It can use that information, and Data Pro can suggest the right metrics for me. I'll take those suggestions. That's very helpful. And one step further, it says, hey, how about I fill in the rest of your dashboard? I like it. Yes, fill in the
So
rest
they're
of your
positioning
dashboard.
Data Pro against like traditional
Remember, I did
ETLs.
a few minutes.
Emphasizing
a few
smart
minutes. We went from raw
suggestions
data, creating a
and
dashboard,
automation.
that kind of a conversation about. But it's not just a dashboard. My job is not to create dashboards. My job is to help us make better business decisions. And there's something about this biz that's just not sitting with me. I need to help Reka, our CMO, figure out cost per acquisition versus conversions. We're trying to hit 35,000 shoe targets. How do I do that? Well, I want to analyze this. I want to modify this viz a little bit. So where do I go to modify this viz? The beautiful Tableau authoring experience that we know and love, the award-winning Tableau authoring experiences. We made some changes. We modernized it. We made it faster. I can drag, I can drop, I can move super quick. That's great. But we didn't take away everything that makes it great, the part that all of us know and love. So what I want to do is I want to figure out and show the relationship between cost per acquisition and conversion rate. That's an important relationship in marketing. I can figure out which ones cost maybe less than 60 bucks per CPA, because that's a critical number for us as a business. And I got a perfect visualization now that I can share with my business leader, and we can make a better decision. Great, I got my dashboard, I'm all good to go. I'm gonna talk to my business leader, we make good. Uh-oh, I forgot something. It's not just my business leader I need to share this with. I need to share this externally with my digital media partner. One click is the embed code. I can take that, literally one click, my embed code's right there. I can get that embed code, put it in my portal, and now my external marketing agency can see that information too. But here's the really cool part. Data security, permission sets, authentication, all carried through with it. I don't got to worry about it. They're only going to see the data they're allowed to see. There are a bunch of campaigns in there. They're only allowed to see the campaigns that I might set them up to see. That's carried through automatically. So I've accelerated my workflow. What have you just seen? You've seen an analyst, the fun job. I just got a lot faster doing my job, so I can spend more time having conversations about how to drive a better business outcome, having conversations with my business leaders about that. That's exciting. That's what I want. So this is being an analyst in the world of agentic analytics. Ryan talked about agentic analytics. We just gave you a really quick little glimpse of that. But part of agentic analytics is driving better business outcomes. So let's talk about driving better business outcomes with our CMO, Reika. Please join me.
Thank you, Sagar. Hello, Data Fam. This is my first PC, but
It's a little
I
cringy.
have been a long-time user of Tableau. I actually start my day with Tableau because Tableau gives me everything I need to know, from understanding my pipeline, my revenue, but most importantly, how my marketing campaigns are working. So that's how I start my day. And I had given our analyst Sadad a quick ask about giving me some analysis for our brand new campaign. So Sadad, what do you have for me?
All right.
Boy,
I'm
I'd
really
love
proud
to
of
see
it.
some
I built a
examples that
super
aren't
cool
marketing-based.
visualization and dashboard. And what you can see here is the
Yeah.
relationship between our cost per acquisition
I mean, this
and
is
our conversion
interesting,
rate.
but
We highlighted a couple of campaigns
Yeah,
that we want to
'cause
mimic.
especially even with the
so we can
last
throw a
demo
bunch
with
of
the
these
data
really
pro
cool
stuff, I want to
shoots.
kind of see how it handles or
Hopefully that
infers
gives you a little
complex
bit of what you need.
relationships.
yeah.
I love this analysis. I love the dashboard. I love the thoroughness. But you know what I really want? I just want to be able to understand the combination of segments and channels that I can target with this campaign. So let's ask Agentforce.
This is super cool. This is the agent called Concierge. You think of Concierge as an agent that allows you to
Somebody
ask
else has
business
a
questions.
concierge agent.
Now, what Reika just said is the way that business people speak.
Yeah.
Can't
She didn't
remember what it
ask
is.
for show me this, buy that, and know the table names or any of that. How does this work? It's actually, remember I said, hey, it's really important that we have context and semantics? It takes the language she just spoke, goes to the context of those semantics, issues the query down to the data, and comes back and generates a response. Now that's impressive. That's what we call concierge. Now that response is the context of what is in this screen as well as what Reika said. But it's not just a language response or Tableau. So it's a visual response because we want to see and understand what's happening in our data. So Reika, that's what you asked for, and I think it literally just gave you the combination of channels and segments that you want to target.
Okay, so that's a combination of loyalty and paid social, which is great. Okay, this is awesome, but Sadar, real talk. Can I trust this?
Yeah.
That's
That's
the thing
the
I
big
always ask.
question.
Businesses, can I trust this? Yes. Yes, you can trust
Can I
it.
trust this data, fam?
And every single concierge response is this thing called sources. It's like a citation in a research paper. It actually tells you the reasoning that the agent did and the semantic data it came from. It can tell them exactly where it is, full lineage, right there, available for your business leaders to have. How's that?
Okay, so I have a strategy. I can trust this. Let's spend 250K to go reach 100,000 people to reach our target this quarter. So what do I need to do? What's that strategy recommendation look like, Agentforce? Okay, so it's optimizing around my paid social and paid search, which happens to be two of my top performing channels. Okay, I think we are ready to move forward. Last thing, Agentforce, can you quickly summarize this and send it to me on Slack so I can go activate my team?
Had to get the Slack guy in there somewhere.
Yeah. So do you guys think this is canned or this is live? What she's doing?
And look at that. So you went from a
I don't
simple
know.
question about, I mean, for those of you who have worked with marketing, this is actually a really hard problem to solve. What's the right mix of channels and segments? Can you please tell me how to spend my
Oh, yeah.
budget? And then can you send it to me in Slack? Like, we literally did this on stage with you live. Those are complex questions. So Agentforce is not just running a query, it's actually doing calculations behind the scenes. It's a really powerful product.
That was
I'm gonna
really
share it in
fast, but it was
Slack.
live.
And
Yeah.
so right now,
Very
hey,
fast.
you guys are kind of like cliffhanging point of this demo.
Yes.
I said, hey, we want to sell 35,000 shoes. I just launched the campaign. Well, I want to kind of know at the end. What happened? Did we actually sell 35,000 shoes or not? All right, let's fast forward maybe
Cool.
6 or 8 weeks and let's see what happens now.
Are you all ready to find out? I'm very excited. So I get a Slack from Southern. Let's pull that up. Let's see how this campaign's doing. Great. So we reached our target. We exceeded our target to 38,000 shoes, and we still have 25K remaining. That's cool. So that's a successful combination of a strategy, the marketing channels, and the target. So let's keep going. I love that.
Yeah, what you just saw there was another agent called Inspector. I think of Inspector as a little bit like an omniscient caretaker. Behind the scenes, Inspector was running after we launched this campaign so that Rick and I didn't have to constantly be watching it. And it was watching the performance of the campaign at the same time it was looking at our budget. And it just alerted Reka that, hey, you're exceeding your target, yet you still have $25,000 left. What do you want to do? You want to double down?
I'm ready to go. Clearly it's working, so I accept the suggestion, and I can actually approve this right from my Slack. That's the cool part. So thank you, Analyst Southern, for giving us great analysis and for running a successful campaign.
Thank you, Reka, for being the part-time CMO at DataFan Kicks and the full-time CMO at Tableau.
That was a good demo,
so
but you're right.
what did we
It would
just
be
show you?
nice to
What
see
did you
something
just
other than
see?
marketing.
Yeah.
We saw that analyst workflow where I got to do the fun job of being an analyst in the agentic
I really
era.
want to see more about the
My job was
inspector piece
accelerated. I spent
too,
more time
because I wonder if the inspector's the right
business leader
for
make
it.
a smart decision on.
Word for it,
You
yeah.
also saw a business leader having a conversation
Seems
with
like
their
it's
data.
more of a monitor or a
Questions, somewhat hard to answer questions in their
Yeah.
own language in a way that was relevant to
predictor.
that particular business.
Yeah.
DataFan
And can
Kicks,
you
they
just
have their own
define
language,
what to monitor
and that
and the
drove a better
sensitivity
business
thresholds? You know,
outcome.
like,
Yeah.
So this is what hopefully we just showed you a picture of what analytics looks like in the agentic era. So with that, I want to say, well, how did that all work? Like what's actually happening behind the covers? All right, let's show a quick view of what it looks like for Tableau Next architecture. And Ryan just talked about these before, and I'll just quickly summarize it. So that open data layer, you saw me access data in Databricks through zero copy. I didn't move the data into Data Cloud. It stayed in Databricks. I queried it live. Semantically, I modeled that with data that's existing inside a Data Cloud, maybe my unified individual. And then I also combined that with data that was from Box, unstructured data. That's a really powerful scenario. I modeled that through a semantic layer. We brought AI to semantic modeling. I accelerated the path of building calculations, level of detail, unstructured data, one single source of truth, yet I didn't also change that semantic model, I extended it. That means I get to keep governance at the same time as providing agility. You saw the visualization layer come to life, the new modern, faster,
So where's
quicker,
Agent Force fit into
rounded corners, beautiful looking visualization platform that we
so
can all
it's-
use to help our customers and our end business users see and understand that data. And finally, you saw the action layer come to play, where it's integrated inside a Slack.
They're still
And
talking
if you're
about this
fortunate enough to have to use Teams,
purely
we'll work
as
in Teams
Tableau and not
also.
how it fits into the overall.
And that final workflow,
Yeah.
which I can press a button and it can kick off a workflow anywhere. Now, what
Yeah, I
we
mean, I
didn't
get
really
it
show
that
a
I'm
lot of was
using
Marketplace. I showed it really briefly because we just didn't have
Agent
enough
Force
time. But Marketplace is my gallery for all my best practices. We show
for
it as
those
an
skill kind
but
of
you can do
questions and
Marketplace
using
works for
and stuff.
semantic
Right.
models, it works for data connections, it can work for workflows. Any of those things can be reused. And you saw those agents, Data Pro, Concierge, and Inspector come to life, helping
Oh, I
accelerate
see.
our workflow
Okay, so
and
those are
drive
the
to better
agents.
outcomes.
Yeah.
All right, so a demo is exciting. At least I find it exciting. Hopefully you found it exciting. There's nothing better than a demo than a real live customer who uses the product. So with that, what I'd like to do is roll the film and show how Box is using Tableau.
We want to run an AI-first company, end-to-end. Everything that we do operationally at Box is.
I remember having a Box account
AI to accelerate our business.
long time ago before it
This
dropped.
is a huge breakthrough to
Dropbox
help
came out.
enterprises be able to access, share, collaborate, and now bring intelligence to their most important data in their organization. We now have about 120,000 customers on the platform.
68% of the Fortune 500, heavily regulated.
Their
highly
CMO used to be at
detail-oriented
Salesforce.
industries, financial services.
What's her name?
insurance,
Boxes?
government.
Millions of
Yeah.
users.
Yeah,
hundreds
you're
of
right.
millions
What's
of files,
yeah?
hundreds
She
of
spoke
thousands
at
of
my
contracts.
very first conference
We've
like
never been able
12
to
years
tap
ago.
into the
Yeah, drawing a
insights
blank
that
on the
data.
name.
Oh
The big
man,
breakthrough is, what if I could deploy
hard to
AI
believe I
against
can't
all of
remember her
this
name right now.
information and start to understand my business in completely new ways? How do we start to turbocharge the productivity of 120,000 companies that are using Box already, where actually probably a very significant percentage of them are also using Salesforce?
when you bring in Salesforce, the problem that you're solving is to get closer and more connected with the customer.
For several years, I've had this vision where we could start bringing all the sort of operational data that we need together in one tool. And to me, it makes sense to do Tableau.
If you think
Trisha
of the flow
Gelman.
state, hey, the CEO's having a conversation with the board.
Oh yeah.
The CISO is like, hey, I need year to date right now.
What was our mean time to resolution?
We need it in 2 hours.
People are scrambling in the back.
Like, you can have it in 30 seconds with Tableau Pulse if you already have the data there.
And this is where Tableau solved a business critical problem for us.
Suddenly you have this data that gives you that information that you can pivot at will.
Tableau gives us that ability to take the insights happening from our product and service delivery and marketing and campaigns and sales, and gives you that single view across the business. If I go 1 or 2 days without seeing that set of metrics, I kind of feel like high anxiety and like I'm missing something.
We start to think about now the innovation that Salesforce is bringing to the table in terms of Agent Force and Tableau Next.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I have been so excited about this. With Tableau Next, you can use natural language, so you don't need to be an expert. You can tell Tableau what you need to do, and it'll create that pipeline for you.
This is a pretty wild concept because it's actually very similar to how people work. I might go and ask somebody in Slack, I say, hey, do you have a document that has this kind of information in it? And they'll go spend 5 or 10 minutes, go and find it. We're going to see the same thing happen with AI agents, except it'll be 100 times faster, and you'll be able to do it for any use case. And the really powerful thing is that you can do it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 100 million times, and not drain the resources of your actual human employees. We just really think about it as giving knowledge workers superpowers in everything that they're doing, which lets us better serve customers, lets us innovate faster, lets us get to market better, and that's a huge boon for all of our productivity.
Putting all of the business process parts of my job into Tableau will save bare minimum 150 to 160 hours per quarter.
We've really made a very well-educated, calculated bet on Salesforce.
I'm looking at a Tableau interface one way or another on a daily basis around something in the organization. It gives me a very clear pulse of what's going on, how are we serving our customers. I don't know how we'd run the company without it.
All right. Please welcome Ravi Malik from Global CIO Box. How are you? Come on up. Go ahead. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming. And it's really great to see all the progression you guys have made with Box, really amazing things. And maybe just give us your first impressions. How's Tableau Conference for you, day one?
It's great. Thank you for having me here. It's great to be amongst, I guess, data royalty.
Got the box pin on.
That works. Data fam, data royalty.
He's a company man.
It's great to be back in person. Great to see the attendance, and excited about what you've seen on the screen and what you guys have talked about. Really, I think we're in a place now with technology that is just it's amazing. It's exciting. You see the smile on my face. I'm like, this is fun stuff. I mean, it really is fun stuff.
Yeah, well, I know you, and I think Michelle's here somewhere.
Yeah,
Hi,
Michelle's
Michelle.
right there. So
yes, thank you, Michelle. Yeah. I want to make sure that we also kind of give an opportunity. You guys have done some really great things I've seen with Box AI, and we're partnering really nicely together. But one of the other things that I'd love to just maybe hear a little bit about is if you can talk about the history of Tableau or how you're using it to run. You got a global business, you're CIO. What are you doing with Tableau today, and maybe with Tableau Pulse?
So Tableau, it actually predates me before I came to Box, but we've really accelerated it, I think, over the last several years. It is our platform for intelligence. We like many companies, we're data driven. We have a very healthy appetite for data, as you heard our CEO talk about. He's constantly, looking at the different metrics. And like many companies, we have kind of different sources, right? And it's to be able to navigate them, stitch those sources together is incredibly important. And Tableau does that for us, right? As we're trying to consolidate the underlying data infrastructure, right? You can't wait until you've completed all that work. So Tableau gives us the ability to get that insights, to be insights, rich, and still can, continue to evolve from a data source perspective. right? And it breaks down those cycles. And we use it across the entire business, from engineering and product management to sales, marketing to people, IT, and now security, right? And sort of the recent phase of our journey was bringing that into the global security organization, and really addressing a lot of the challenges that you heard Michelle talk about a little bit there, in terms of it was high energy to produce the metrics, right, that are critical to our business. If you think about what Box does and the kind of the highly sensitive, highly confidential data that is in our platform, right, the type of customers that we have, right, security is paramount for us. It is certainly number one. And making sure that we have that visibility and we have the insights into how we're responding and what threats we need to keep track of, and what the intelligence is that's coming in, and how is that translating to our metrics, right? That information is top of mind for the board, certainly audit committees, top of mind for our CEO, and certainly for me and the CISO. But the energy it would take to answer a question, right? Hey, okay, we need to go download the data, put it into a spreadsheet. Okay, I need to make sure that's correct, and do I have all the data sources, right? So just the foraging for data, and then sort of I use a food analogy, the preparation of it, the cooking, right, and making sure that it's presented correctly.
Good
metaphor. That took a lot of energy, right? I mean, you heard Michelle, 120, 160 hours.
I'm going to go foraging
right?
for data.
So think about all the other folks that are probably putting eyes on this. Moving to Tableau, massively changed the way that we do that.
That's
To the
wonderful.
extent that I think I can.
Oh, you're going to show us even better.
Here, right?
Yes.
So,
Do you mind if we get a camera?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Here we go.
I don't know if we can bring a
this is
camera.
live demo, so I'm sure everybody's cringing right now.
Hopefully your company's not watching.
Yeah.
Man, that's a nice zoom lens.
Right, that came up.
Exactly.
So I can, if I'm in
Man,
a
you can-
meeting, a board meeting, or
can almost read
CEO,
that.
which you heard he's on Tableau constantly, right? I get direct access to this. Right?
Yeah.
If there's an incident going on, I can check our mean time to respond and actually see what is going on.
You
check,
can read
right,
that.
and
That's
go
really
in
good.
and figure out, okay,
I
are
would
we
love to know
doing
what
it?
camera
What lens that is,
and
yeah.
lens they're using, because
What we see
that's pretty
in
incredible as far away as that
environment
zoomed in
that's-
from.
Is this something that we need to dial into? And this is powerful, right? Direct access to the data, and being able to get those insights and make calls, right? And when you're in when you're responding to an incident, right, time is incredibly critical.
Yeah.
So the fact that we don't have to wait several minutes, that we don't have to worry about the curation and all this, that we can get direct access to the data, the CEO can get direct access to the data, massively
That's
improves
important.
our response time.
Yes, our CEO likes data too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Well, thank you for showing that. Let's give Ravi a round of applause for showing his demo, by the way.
All right, they get
Pretty cool.
they get points for me just for that.
Maybe one
Zooming in on the
last
phone.
question, 'cause we're
That was
showing a
really
lot, We're
good.
talking about the future. You saw Tableau Next, kind of a little conversation about agentic analytics. You guys are obviously pioneering in AI, and I see all the things you're doing and Aaron's doing. Are there any wish list items or things you want us to think about, or are there things maybe that you're excited to try out? Any feedback for us or anything else for the room?
Well, I'll take the opportunity and just put a shameless plug. I love the Tableau box integration, metadata, right? I think there's tons of
Shameless plug.
upside and opportunities. Yeah,
And he's not even a marketer.
Connected on this. But I love what you guys are doing, right? The concierge, I think that's one of my kind of favorite things, because typically those things, I'm sending a Slack
Concierge.
message or I'm sending an email to somebody, and then I'm waiting, right? Kind of waiting to.
Nobody likes to wait.
Yeah,
but-
and that now I can, I have direct access to data, so I can ask the kind of questions that typically would have.
What was good with the concierge? I like how it showed its work and explained how it arrived at the answer.
And
Yeah.
the
That
nice
was
thing
key,
about that is
yeah.
that now we have folks who are really able to truly 10x. One of our guys, 10x their ability.
10x sounds good.
Yeah, 10x their ability to bring value to business, right? So instead of again foraging and the preparation and the cooking, right?
Yeah.
They're consuming and analyzing the meal.
Yeah,
Right?
excellent.
They're telling you, hey, it needs a little bit more salt. Maybe maybe we need some veggies in here, things like that. Right?
Fine tuning.
Yeah, fine tuning, and as you showed in the demonstration, really dialing into what's going to move the needle.
Amazing. Well, we're very grateful for you, Ravi, and also for Michelle for being here. She's not there anymore.
Yeah,
But
the real star.
but thank you so much. Thank you to Box, and really appreciate you coming to Tableau Conference.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All right. Okay, great. So we are now going to go and show a little bit more and talk a little bit more about DataFam, et cetera. And I'm going to ask Rekha, our amazing CMO, to come on up.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Ravi. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your partnership. So, 4 months is all I've been in this role, but I've been a power user of Tableau. In the last 4 months, I have been working or talking to at least a lot of you and a lot of our customers. So the next set of slides are going to be with that. And I need my clicker, if I can get it real quick. Thank you. So the first thing that I will say is there's one thing that comes up again and again and again in every single customer conversation, which is how mission critical Tableau has been to that organization, the command center of the organization. Tableau's belief has always been if we empower everyone with the right tools, people can do extraordinary things. And that's what DataFab, all of you have been doing across incredible organizations. The next thing that I want to highlight is the product. The mad respect and passion that all of you have for this product. I love this product, but seeing it through your lens is pretty phenomenal. So I want to bring back what Ryan said, which is the product family portfolio that we have for Tableau works across the board. It's interoperable, which means you can use one product or you can use many products as you see fit. Every organization has different use cases. You're all tackling different challenges, and we are empowering you with the tools that you need to go do your job much, much better. And I know you all have this question in your mind about how do I get started? What is agentic analytics? What is this? How can I get started? How do I create my vision? How do I create processes around it? How do I create the organizational design around it? We hear you. We have your back. We always do. So this is why we are giving you a blueprint framework, a step-by-step tool to go exactly do that. Use this, download the QR code, so that way you can go get started with your agentic analytics journey today. And the one thing that I am particularly passionate about is this community. I have talked to so many of you. It's so clear why this clicks and why this is so unique to Tableau. You are all there for each other. You're sharing best practices. You're thinking about ways to uplift each other. This, I will tell you again, is unique, nothing like we've ever seen anywhere. And that's the heart and soul of Tableau. We also hear that you want to continue the conversation in a place where you all are. So we are giving you a brand new Slack workspace for the community. You can go create channels. You can continue the conversation, whether you're a data newbie or a data rockstar or somewhere in between, no problem. You have each other to help us get through this agentic AI era. So scan the QR code, and I'll see you on Slack to continue the conversation. And speaking of DataFam, I have the distinct pleasure of
Mad respect for
interviewing someone
DataFam.
who's done a really, really cool thing. To do that, please welcome Harim Jung to have a conversation. So Harim, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. I have heard your story, but I would love for all of us to understand your story too. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have done.
Of course. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. This is Harim. I'm a Tableau Public Ambassador, and I care deeply about climate change. That is a topic that everyone knows, but when it comes to explain what it truly means, including myself, many people struggle. And it's not because we are unaware, it's naturally complex. Mhm. And that's why I devoted my work to bridging the gap using Tableau.
I love that.
And when I tell these stories, the chart I rely on the most is the radial bar chart. As you may know, it's really powerful. You can bring together trend, pattern, scale, even your stories in one visual, and that is why I put it in our cumulative carbon plot as a key tool of the visual climate library.
I love that. If you all walk by the data village, there's a whole Viz gallery, and this is prime and center in that. So you can all take this for a spin. But I absolutely love that story. Um, how did you get started with all of this? How did you fall in love with data, Tableau, and what did this community do to help you?
Right, that's a really interesting question. I started using Tableau back in 2019 when I was working as a nuclear data analyst.
Wow.
I know the
Wow.
data
Yeah.
I dealt with was incredibly
I asked for
complex
something other
and
than
time
marketing.
series
You got
heavy.
it.
It was
Exactly.
really tough for me only
A lot
using
of
the
complex
traditional
relationships.
tools, but after I tried Tableau, I realized something important. Data visualization can be its own language. It was not only helping me to tell the numbers, but helping me to tell the stories. And at the same year, luckily, I could start my Tableau public journey and be a member of the Data Fam community. Mhm. And honestly, that's where the idea of the visual climate started, even 5 or 6 years ago. So I'd love to ask you to join the Data Fam community and be the Tableau family member.
I promise that was not a paid ad. But this is just her saying this out of the sheer
Checks
excitement
in
that
the
she has
mail.
with the Data Fam community. Thank you, Harim.
She's saying it to the
The next question I
CMO.
have for you,
I
I'm
mean,
curious to get your take on the modern day analyst. You heard Ryan talk about the role changing, transforming. What is your take on that?
Right, Rika? That's a really good question. Many people often ask, hey, AI is this advancing so fast. Is BI already over? What about our job? And I don't believe that because AI is not the end of something. It's expansion of what we do as data people. Let's think. At the core, we are the one who define the question, connects a dot, bring the meaning, and turning into stories. Right? Instead, AI help us move faster, cut up the repetitive work, and save the space to think strategically. So, if we bring Tableau into this mixture, AI, especially Tableau agent, becomes our intelligent partner. Mhm. So for me, AI plus Tableau is evolution of the storytelling and revolution of the visualization.
Love that. We are getting a marketing campaign ready with that. Last question. What advice would you like to give everyone who's getting started in their AI journey?
Right. So for me, AI is not about the speed, it's tool for DAOs. Like Tableau agent help us to make better question and rich compelling visualization wiser and faster. And honestly, that's how I created Visual Climate. Visual Climate is a global initiative driven by the Data Fam, and we are building world-first AI-driven climate dashboard library, especially using Tableau Agent. Of course, it's free to open to everyone, and even organization can manage their carbon impact later. So overall, the AI is not only about automation; it's more likely a connection. Like we are all here, right? It makes our stories clear, connection stronger, and impact wider. So today, hey Data Fam, I'd love to ask you to join and learn Tableau Agent. And if you have any question, reach out to me, reach out to Data Fam. We are here to support your Tableau journey. Oh, Rika,
Yes.
one more thing.
Yes.
I can't wait to jump into Tableau next.
Oh, yay. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you to try that too.
Right.
Well, give a big applause to Harim. Thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, this is truly what fuels us, and this is why we continue to build products that truly make a difference in all of your everyday lives.
my man is
And
sporting that
we talk about
cowboy hat
content,
down there, isn't
Oh
he?
like
yeah,
Ryan
he's
mentioned, not abandoning the rest of our product portfolio. We have a lot of innovation coming. To
loud
do
and
that,
proud.
please welcome back this time Chief Product Officer Sadar.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the agentic era, talked a lot about Tableau Next. Some of you are asking, hey, what about Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server? I saw some slides about it. Are you doing anything there? So as the person who gets to make the decisions on where we're investing our money and our resources, what I can tell you is that we are spending more resources on cloud and server than we even are on Next. And over the past year, we've delivered over 130 different features, all of them of which you have asked for.
Is it
in cloud,
130
server,
or 130
desktop,
different
and
features? That was
public.
kind of a.
Now, this is just a short list of them.
All right,
And
130.
if you're
Okay,
looking at
there
this
it is.
list saying, but where's my feature that I really want? I would encourage you to scan that QR code right there. That
Another
will take you
QR
to the
code?
idea exchange. That is how we make prioritization decisions in product. Your input drives our roadmap. So check out the idea exchange. We launched this and people have really been great about it. Our product team looks at this every week. That's how we decide what we're going to build. So this is your opportunity. Meet your community members here today. Make sure you get your favorite feature voted up, and that will make sure it gets into the roadmap. All right, so that's great about what we've done there. We also made it a promise to all of you last year. We said, hey, we're bringing Tableau to Hyperforce. And say, what's that? Hyperforce gives us ability to show Tableau or have Tableau be hosted in a number of different regions. So we said, hey, we're going to bring it to you in 2 regions last year. We said we're going to bring it to a bunch more. So right now, today, we've delivered on that promise. Tableau is now available in 9 different regions around the world. So for all of you who have global organizations, you can now get Tableau running in North America, Europe, APAC, Southeast Asia, Australia. So that gives you a lot of flexibility and brings enterprise credibility to Tableau. Also, you may have heard about this announcement with Google and Salesforce. What does that mean? In short, what that means is Tableau is going to be available on GCP in the future. So if your organization runs on GCP and you want to use Tableau in that cloud environment, you'll be able to do that in the future as well. All right, so, let's go back. Can I go back? I don't have the ability to go back. Can somebody do that? No? Yes? All right, good. Backwards, not forward. Back. All right, we're not going to go back.
Yeah, this is a little rough here.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what if you don't want to be in the cloud? How many people here run server? Shut up. Yeah. Yeah.
Very excited.
People are shy. I know there's way more.
Interesting, Ian.
All right. So,
yeah,
people ask,
exactly.
when are you bringing AI to server? I showed that slide and you already saw it. So the answer is now. If you don't believe me, I'm going to do a demo of it right now. All right. So I'm going to log into server, a pre-populated password. And for this demo, I'm going to be a supply chain executive. And I have one
Ian is
simple
not
question,
happy
that is,
about
these
that.
tariffs are freaking me
At
out.
all.
Now I need to know, hey, are some suppliers going to be at risk because of all these tariffs? Well, I have a Tableau dashboard that helps me have a beautiful picture of everything I'm doing inside of my supply chain and inside of procurement. And this is what I use every day to run my business. That's fantastic. But again, I have one simple question, and that is, I want to find out what my commodity suppliers are and if they're at risk. So what if I had a dashboard extension that allowed me to ask a question like, which suppliers have the highest purchasing volumes below average price? Those are commodity suppliers. They could be at risk. So I'm asking that question of an agent. Now, remind you, I'm on server, okay? This is not something on cloud. And that question is going to come back and give me a response. That's based off of my data inside of a Tableau published data source. Live demo. Fully live demo is available to all of you today. So what did you just see? Now we can go forward to the slide that I didn't. Yes, this slide. Yeah. All right. So I asked a question. That question went into, in this case, it was a LangChain framework that talked to an LLM that turned that question into a query that we were able to answer through the VDS service. The result of that query came back. We summarized that response, again, in that LangChain framework through an LLM and gave you an answer. All of you can do this today. If you're really interested in this, there's a breakout session on it. I encourage you to go to it. The power of AI can be at your hands for everybody. So with that, I think we're showing you how we can bring AI, whether or not you're in cloud, whether you're in server, whether you're using Next, all of them together. Now I'll turn it back to you, Ryan.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to close this out here. Not that one. Or maybe it is that one. Well, we have one other thing. We had a little slide issue. So, and now we've had another slide issue. You know, must be AI running the slides, perhaps.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, and now we have another one. Let's just move ahead.
Oh man.
So I'm going to wrap us up.
This is
I want to
funny.
say again, thank you for being here. There's a couple really important things I want you to come to if you have the ability to come. Number one, true to the core. That is your opportunity to give us real feedback.
Male marriage.
Sometimes it's a difficult session for us, but we like it. We like to hear your feedback. Please come. Iron Viz tomorrow at 4. Of course, we have devs on stage. That's really the most exciting thing you're going to see. Okay, so let's give a round of applause for devs on stage.
Man, they like that one.
All right. You must come. You must come to devs on stage.
It must be a must
We
see.
got our data night out, etc. I have one other thing that we were going to talk about, and I'll just mention it here. We told you we're going to be investing in our data fam and Tableau Public. We are going to be bringing Tableau Agent to Tableau Public. That'll be happening soon. Okay. Just to reiterate, we're going to bring Tableau Agent to Tableau Public. That'll be coming soon. And additional to that, we have this thing coming up, this pretty amazing event called Dreamforce. You're going to see a lot more of Tableau Next there as well as some of the Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server and other innovations you'll see at Dreamforce in October. And then you may have noticed this slide pop up before. We're going to have another Tableau conference, okay?
Are they
I hope
clapping
you'll
for the
join us
conference
next
or
year.
that it's going to be back
It
in
will
San
be in May.
Diego?
Right, exactly.
And I just want to, again, thank you for being here today. I want to get you off to your next session. Please give us feedback. We do want it, and we want to hear all your feedback throughout the week. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of the event.
All right, so let me get rid of that guy.
Yeah, so nothing on GA for next pricing, right?
You wouldn't expect that necessarily in the keynote, though. I mean,
yeah, but yeah.
I think they're
But at
still.
least-
I think they're
yeah,
still working out pricing for next.
But at least GA, like, so it's just not, yeah.
I don't know.
Love to hear more about Blueprint because they
Yeah.
went through that super quickly, and I think there's a lot of potential value there, but it's hard to get it from 30-second
Yeah.
slide.
And I know in dealing with them before, they were talking a lot about democratization. So what they showed was a lot of complexity, pretty high level workflows. So I'm wondering if they're aiming to, make analysis easier for everyday users. They didn't really show a lot of that democratization at all to me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure though that this audience is the business analyst,
This
like
is true.
heavy
Yeah.
data analyst type, not necessarily the business.
Yeah.
User. And I think that as much as they talked about the AI not taking the business analyst job, it is taking part of that job.
Yeah.
There's no way around that one.
There's no way around that.
They could have worded it. They need the word that different going in the future.
They need to really tie a bow on that for the business data analyst to be able to say to their boss, "Here's why you still need me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
I think there's more work to do
reskilling
about
spin you can put on that too. But yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a really important spin because AI is coming.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it. A lot of these folks in the management position are looking for it to replace actual
I mean,
humans.
like a great workshop at this conference would be a sort of 30-minute figure out, give everybody an index card and have them put 3 things that they can do that AI will never be able to do, so that when they're in the elevator with their boss's boss and they say, "Why do we still need you?"
Why are
they
you
exactly
the answer for
Why
that.
are you still here?
Right?
No, I think it's a legit thing. It's an important thing, and I'll push back a little bit. I think they had to do something in terms of giving some cues to what the price is going to be. I know this is the opening keynote, but there's a lot of people are still trying to figure out, where does this all come in from a financial perspective? And even if they didn't focus a lot on it, they could have had a little something that gave people, all right, at least we have a little high level understanding. They'll dig in later on in some of these sessions. And then I still think he said that he gets a lot of questions on is Tableau going away? And I think they could have done a little bit more around how does Tableau fit into the overall scheme for Salesforce. He didn't
So
do any of that really.
yeah, so not a
Yeah,
lot on
and talking about
availability and roadmap. Exactly. Yeah.
and talking about too where Tableau sits across the broader Salesforce portfolio to be like,
Mhm.
look, yes, we're continuing to develop and invest in Tableau, but recognize that Tableau is the data science and analytics platform for Salesforce, right?
Yeah.
So if you're using Marketing Cloud, you're using Tableau. If you're using Customer Experience Intelligence, you're using Tableau. If you're using all of
Yeah.
these different pieces, Tableau is the foundation for those. And we don't
Yeah.
necessarily see that when we get the sort of layer cake slide of the entire
Yeah.
Salesforce platform. And I think that's a point worth making,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
people who are worried about Tableau going away, no, they need Tableau because it's the data visualization interface for
For
all
the
things.
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't see that synergy between, I guess, like Data Cloud and the integration into the Salesforce ecosystem. They did show the Databricks stuff, so which I thought was interesting to choose the Databricks example.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a lot of customers that use it.
Yeah.
I think they had to address that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to come down too hard. I think there is some good stuff in there. I think the agents that they identified,
Mhm.
those look like they're going to be something that people are actually applauding for. What is the concierge agent?
No, thanks,
Yeah,
Ian.
I think
Yeah.
concierge, the natural
Yeah.
language one. I think the inspector we could have spent more time on too, because I think that is interesting from the ability to sort of set proactive alerts, right? So if we go back to that supply chain and tariff example, which is a horrible one, but I'm going to use it anyway, that he just did, being able to say, give me an alert if a certain dollar amount of my suppliers are in certain places that are impacted, right? And be able to set some thresholds for that to tell me when those fluctuations are happening or are going to happen. Boy, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that I know would make people sleep a little bit better at night.
Yeah. I thought Rebecca, you're gonna say they need to do Tableau inside, like somebody used to do with.
Oh, Intel? Yeah.
Tableau inside.
Tableau
I just got that.
But I'm gonna put up this thing from Ian.
Yeah.
Data Cloud is consumption price. Salesforce needs to really get a handle just to overall. There's so many different pricing
SKUs
models and things. You got consumption, you got subscription. They have to address it at a very high level. Where does all this fit?
They do, and I think they're working on it. I think the sort of $2 a conversation thing scared a lot of people. So I think rather than come out with something on the heels of that without a really well baked.
Yeah, they got to bake. They got to really bake it well.
And the challenge is, I can use Agentforce in so many different ways across the organization, in different ways that deliver different scales of value. Like, how do I account for that in a pricing model without making it like a million SKUs?
Yeah.
Right, and they can't do that.
I think it's something that has to be addressed sooner rather than later. Indeed. And you're right; it has to be well done.
Yeah.
But it has to happen because there's going to be a lot of people say this stuff looks great, but can I afford it? I mean,
yeah.
And to Ian's point too, a lot of the recent kind of bundles have included a certain number of Data Cloud credits.
Okay.
Right, but without people really knowing what that looks like in terms of actual consumption, it's hard to predict, plan, and move beyond pilot.
Yeah, like there were no hints yet. It will be part of existing licenses or require new add-ons. So it was really curious there.
It's a good time to get that button up.
And I know it's something they're working on, but it's also not. When you start thinking about all the different permutations of how this stuff can deliver value, all of the different compensation levels of the people from a productivity perspective, right? Getting that down to something crisp. And I will say, and Brent, you know this, I think the folks that have done the best in kind of switching from this per seat to consumption with AI is the folks at Verint.
Yeah, I mean, they got a head start on everybody. Yeah. I think we're going on this 2 years since they really introduced it, right?
Yeah. They really bit the bullet and said, we've got to go on value and we've got to go on not necessarily just consumption because it's more complex than that.
Yeah. And I think that's the way to put it. I mean, it's not just about pricing models. It's about, restructuring the way people do work and how that fits into the equation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember, you got to communicate this out to a sales team too, so they can actually sell this stuff.
Yeah, because they're a bit concerned about that too, since they make their money off of selling this stuff. Whatever the pricing model is, that's their income. Wow. Yeah. Well, so since you're out there, what are you going to be on the lookout for the rest couple of days?
So I'm really interested to see what's in the marketplace. I think that's a really key area as I think about getting this out to kind of a broader user. Talking to the business analysts about how they feel about how this message is sitting, and then what are those three things they say to their boss in the elevator when they say, "Isn't your job going away?" Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing for people to be addressing and thinking about. Because the job of that data analyst is so very valuable, but they need to be able to explain that value.
They got to be able to explain why it becomes even more valuable.
Yeah.
I think, than just because this actually ends up being a really good opportunity if they grab hold of it and think of it like that.
Yeah, because let's face it, we saw some nice tight demos today, but most bosses are not going to be able to, in conversational language, ask Tableau to give them the perfect answer to their question. They're going to need that. They're going to need that data whisperer to do a lot of that work for them.
Is data whisperer? That's another part of the data fam, right? Just sorry, I'll say this. That's the term I do not like, and it's going to be a big one for me to get through.
I will try to get you a T-shirt, Brent.
Don't try too hard. Give it to Patrick. I bet Patrick would love a data fam.
I'm going to be looking closely at the blueprint stuff too. I think they talked about that in the keynote, but that was the other part that jumped out at me as being.
You know what? I would have liked to have heard more about that actually. Some of the other things that they.
I will let you know what I hear.
Yeah. Also, with the marketplace stuff too, like how curated is that? Or how curated will it be, and will it foster genuine collaboration, or become just a dumping ground for stuff? So.
Yeah.
All right.
Or how many folks that built clever dashboards will then decide to quit their jobs and monetize them on the marketplace?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's I think I went to well, all three of us are at TDX, so that's the one thing that I really appreciate about TDX is how they incorporated not only the community but also like the what do they call it, the agent exchange or agent force exchange. They incorporated community in the exchange a little bit more cohesively into that keynote, and I came away with a better understanding of how all those things fit. I'm not necessarily on that same level with what we just saw.
I'm curious. I'm curious too about the Slack channel.
Yeah, it's funny, guys. So I was at Canva last week, and Canva, design, creativity. They unleashed something called Canva Sheets, which, as I looked at it, I saw in disposable signal. It looked like an interesting new competitor to a Power BI, Tableau, because you were able to do data visualizations, and from a design perspective, make it look pretty.
That's important. Well, Canva, you would think they would focus on
itself,
that.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, you know what? I want to see these interviews you're doing from Canva because I want to just. I've never talked to them. I don't have the subscription because they kind of when they did that 500% increase, I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Before they backed away from it, but so I'll be looking forward to that. And yes, Rebecca, love to hear what you think after you get a couple of days more in this, but no Data Fam t-shirts. That's all I'm saying. No Data Fam t-shirts. All
right. Excellent. Well, hey, since it's Tuesday, it's the crunch. Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Guys.
See you guys later. And thanks for letting me sit in on this very first watch party for the
This is my first watch party, so I'm just like, I've been christened now, baptized, all that.
Wow. All right. After all that, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.